I think it's time that we go ahead and Nic-A-Date some nickels today. Hey everybody, it's Rob with RobFindsTreasure, and I just finished going through all of my nickels that have been Nic-A-Dated or didn't need Nic-A-Date to upgrade my Buffalo album, because I haven't done that for the last several hunts, and I had a few that I could upgrade. Now in this jar is a whole bunch of Philadelphia minted Buffalo nickels that have not been Nic-A-Dated yet, but I'm going to save those for another video. On my mat, I have some Buffalo nickels that I don't know if they're Philadelphia mint or if they have a mint mark, because the rim has been damaged and or is impeding where the word 5 cents is. So I want to see if there's any mint marks on these ones. I've got my Denver ones here, my San Francisco ones here, and even a shield nickel here. Now what I'm going to do first is show you how I apply Nic-A-Date to the back of these ones. We're just going to check for any mint marks on them, and since they'll have been Nic-A-Dated, if I see a mint mark, I'll Nic-A-Date the front. And if I don't, I'll probably still Nic-A-Date the front to see if we have any older Buffalo nickels. But at the end of the day, without any mint marks, there's not going to be any semi-key or key dates at all. Now we could check for the 14/13 overdate. We could check for the 16 double die obverse. And if there is a 35, we could check for the reverse double die as well. But really the purpose of this video is to let you know how to use Nic-A-Date. And even though I've shown it in previous nickel hunts, I want to make sure you know how to use it. And of course, if you're interested in my mat, my scope, or my Nic-A-Date, I'll have links to all those down below. So to get started, we're going to use the Nic-A-Date. I've had this jar for more than a year. I say jar, you know what I'm saying. And the first thing I want to do is put the smallest amount right where the word 5 cents is. Not too much because it works quick. But I'm going to put just a dollop on there. And then I use a tool or something just to move it around, not scratching the nickel, just moving the liquid so it covers where the mint mark and the word 5 cents will be. All we're checking on this one right now is to see if there's possibly a mint mark. Let's go ahead and let it do its magic, and we will see if there's possibly a mint mark here in just a minute. All right, we've got this one done, and I'll bring it up a little bit closer and bring it on the microscope. I thought there might be a mint mark on this one because I couldn't see it from the edge. I'm going to put it under the scope and show you what I saw. You let me know. Does that look like there's a D mint mark there? Could be. I'm not 100% certain, but it certainly does look like it might be a D mint mark. It's a little bit closer to the rim, but it does have the characteristics of a Denver mint. Let's assume for the sake of this video that it is a Denver mint so that we can take a look at the front and see if we see anything else. Typically, I like the mint mark to show up a little better than that. But then again, it was heavily worn at that mint mark area, which could account for the fact that it looks so light. Either way, now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the front. Same thing, just the smallest dollop right where the date area would be so that you don't destroy the nickel aesthetically as much by applying Nic-A-Date and having it spill out into the other parts of the coin. So we're just going to put a little bit right here at the date area, keeping it as contained as possible. And that should just about do it, just like that. I probably could have used less, but that's about as good as I like to get it. You are going to have this whole area exposed, and really I could have kept it about 1 millimeter to the left even more. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure I get a good date revealed on the first go, not applying Nic-A-Date too often. I'll be back once it's worked its magic. All right. I think you can see it right there. That should be a 1919, I believe. Looks like it to me. And I'm going to say that with that back area, there probably is a D mint mark. So this first one, nothing valuable. It's just a common 1919 D Buffalo nickel. They minted about 8 million of these, and it goes for $15 in G4 condition. But with the application of Nic-A-Date, you're only going to get 10 to 20% of the G4 value. So we're probably looking at a $1.50 to $3 nickel. Now a dateless one only goes for about 50 cents. So in this case, we did maybe make a buck off it by doing this, but nothing really fantastic about the first one. Now that you've seen the process, I'm gonna go ahead and do the back bottoms of all of these. If one has a mint mark, I'll bring you in for that one and we'll go from there. I'll see you in a few. So we went ahead and finished those nickels that we didn't know if there was gonna be a mint mark. We did find one 1920D in there. Nothing big about a 1920D. It has about 9.5 million minted. In the condition it's in, about $1. So it didn't really add any value. We had a 1913P, a 1915P, 3 1918Ps, not the 18/17 because it's not a Denver mint. 2 1919s, one's a D, one's a P, a 20D, a 25P, and a 1935 as well, minted in Philadelphia. Nothing that great here, but we were just checking these since they didn't have a mint mark. We wanted to see if we could find anything special with these. We did not, didn't expect to. They were minted in Philadelphia. That being said, we do have a stack of D's here that I do have mint marks on. I'll bring one up for you. You can clearly see that there is a D mint mark on it, but there's no dates on them. So I'm gonna go ahead now and do these 4 Denver mints. I have a feeling that these two may not show a date because of the condition that they're in, but we will try. I'll bring you back in once I have dates on these ones. All right, so we finished the 4 Denver minted Buffalo nickels. We could not extract a date or anything off this one. I think the corrosion has encapsulated it and disallowed the Nic-A-Date to do its work. We did find a 1917D, a little bit better date, 9.9 million minted, $18 in G4. In this condition, a few bucks. A 1927D common and a 1929D common. So nothing fantastic in the Denver mints, nothing to write home about. We do have 3 San Francisco mints. I'll bring one up for you to take a look at. You can see it right there. Hoping to pull some good dates. This one's been Nic-A-Dated before, but we're gonna see if we can re-Nic-A-Date it and get a date. I'll check it under the scope. I think I might see something on it now. I do. This one's actually a 1925S. I don't know if I can get it under the regular camera here, but I think you can see 1925S. And a 1925S is a little bit of a better date, 6.3 million minted, but only $5. So not a really good condition coin like this. This is probably 50 cents or $1 because of the severity of the Nic-A-Date that they did. And this is what I was talking about. If you don't contain it in the date area, it spills all over and it just makes the coin look a lot worse. When we compare that Nic-A-Date job to that Nic-A-Date job, it's quite the difference, as you can see. So that's why I try to use just a little bit and keep it contained. Either way, 25S, we already know that one. Let's see if we can find out the dates on these two. So good news and bad news. We got a 1920S and a 1925S. Nothing too special about those. Upon further inspection on the reverse of this one, I did notice that that is a D mint mark, not an S. I had it miscategorized. When I Nic-A-Date it, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it is another, and I have found a few of these lately, a 1913D, which is a semi-key date. You can see it right here. A 1913D, Variety 2, because it has the flat mound on the back, not the raised mound, is a 4.156 million minted Buffalo nickel. In G4 condition, Blue Book on this is about $65. But because we've Nic-A-Dated it, it's about 10 to 20% of that. Probably a $6 to $10 coin right here. It's in terrible shape, so it doesn't matter that we Nic-A-Dated it, but now we have a date. That does it for these Buffalo nickels. I have saved one more project for the end. This is a shield nickel that I have here, and judging by what I see on the date of it, which would be at the bottom of this side, right there. I think it's either an 1882 or an 1867. I know that sounds weird, but I can't quite make it out. Those are both very common years. But I thought for this one, we would do a soaking on it. And I'm gonna put it in this cap, and we're gonna apply a liberal amount of Nic-A-Date to the top. We gotta cover it up to do this right. So we'll get this guy soaking just like this, and we'll see if we can get a date off of it. Not just a date, but get the entire reveal on this bad boy. Let's soak it like this for a little bit, and I'll bring you back in a few minutes. So it's been soaking here for about 3 minutes, and one side had no detail, and this side is starting to show some great detail as well. And you can even make out the 5 now. So I'm going to continue to soak it for another 5 minutes or so, but that detail is starting to come through. Now, obviously, this will be an altered coin, so it won't have very much value, but we want to get a good date off it, and we want to get some detail and see how it comes out. I think I'm starting to see a date here at the bottom where my thumbs are. Could be an 1868. Let's soak it a little bit longer. So it's been another 3 minutes, and I wanted to give you some progress, at least an update on it. And it is looking like it is getting quite a bit of detail. We can even see some of the wording down here. And quite a bit of the detail coming through. We can even read the cents there with the 5, United States of America. So we are definitely seeing quite a bit of progress on this. I don't know how much longer I want to leave it in here for. I'm afraid I'm going to overdo it, but let's give it a little bit longer and see what we can get off it. Figured I'd take a second to show you the finished product. You can see a lot of detail came through on the backside. When we flip it around, quite a bit of detail came through on the front side as well. And I think if I bring it up just right, you can see the date, 1868. So I was off. The top of that 8 looked like it could have been a 2 or a 7, but it was an 8. That's why I had a hook in it. And I was right on the 6. 1868 is a very common shield nickel, but I just wanted to give it a try, see how much detail we could pull off. You can see it looks pretty good. I actually put a little bit of a vegetable oil on it just to soak in a little bit from the amount of nic-a-dating we did. But good detail. Obviously, this thing has been altered, damaged, if you will. It was already damaged from corrosion, but now we can at least get some detail off it. Still, 1868, 28.8 million minted. I believe it was the most minted of all the shield nickels without rays. And at 28.817 million minted. In G4 condition, it'd be a $25 coin. But this isn't G4. It's been altered. It doesn't even get a grade. Probably a few bucks in this condition if someone needed it just to fill a spot. But likely not since they're so abundant. Hopefully you enjoyed this nic-a-dating video of buffalo nickels and a shield nickel. If you did, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting. And thanks for watching.